And you have just crossed the line. End of debate. Report to the cargo bay and remain there until this is over. Is that understood?
35 minutes. Why is Siri British, darling?
It's Welsh, not Welsh. It's Irish. My Siri is Irish.
Is it?
Because
Does your phone have a drinking problem?
the American Girl was so flat and tired.
I don't collect those dolls, darling.
American Girl doll, honey.
Yeah, darling, honey.
What are you drinking?
Diet 0-calorie ginger ale.
Not another whole bottle of wine. So you'd be totally messed up the next day.
First of all, it was half a bottle.
No, it wasn't. You finished that bottle on camera.
I finished it after the Zoom call and then proceeded to buzz off most of my hair.
Buzz off.
Buzz off. It's a new year. It's a new me. Okay, so let's kick this off righteously, shall we?
Kick it.
Kick it. What is that?
It takes two to make a thing go right.
It takes two to make one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is Fire Chakotay. I'm Mike Diamond.
This is Miss Matinga.
This is Booby.
It is indeed, and today we are talking about an episode of Seinfeld, as it turns out.
Yuck, yuck.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
Oh, yes.
You sound horrified. Today we are talking about the season 5 episode of Star Trek Voyager called Think Tank.
Yes, that is correct. And Think Tank was the 114th episode overall of Voyager to be produced. It was season 5, episode 20, and it premiered March 31st of 1999.
1999.
Which was also a fierce sci-fi TV show, Space 1999.
Right. With the eyebrows.
Yes, love me some Space 1999.
Is that the one with the robot?
It's the one with Maya that she can turn into animals.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's
what?
So
she had these really thick eyebrows.
Yeah, and she was gorgeous.
And they would show her eyeball and, like close up, and whatever animal was in the eyeball, like a tiger, she would turn into a tiger.
And then she did pull out, yeah.
Yeah.
And she could turn into anything. She could
turn
from
like
into
the
animals.
70s?
Yeah, from 1974. And the guy that did the special effects work for Space 1999 did the special effects work for the first Star Wars and Empire.
Wow.
Is it that Dykstra dude?
Dykstra and somebody else. It was, the premise was Earth's moon, for some reason, gets shifted out of orbit and goes careening across the galaxy.
Martin Landau was in it.
Barbara Bain and Martin Landau, they were married at the time.
But wouldn't that cause the tides on Earth to stop?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And then also there's Moonbase Alpha, so they're just traveling through space as the moon is careening through space.
Oh, okay, that's a cute premise.
But
everybody on Earth would be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the space and their ships were called Eagles.
I did not see that. Have you ever heard of a show called Blake 7?
Was it a puppet thing?
No, it was a British kind of like Star Trek thing.
Okay.
Yeah, this chick told me about it. I haven't gotten into it yet, but I'm going to check it out.
Terrahawks is what you're thinking of, Matinga. It's puppets.
Yes.
No, that's called Thunderbirds.
There are Thunderbirds.
And there's Terrahawks.
And there's Terrahawks.
Oh, all right with your avian knowledge.
And there was another television show which had a Twilight Zone-y kind of feeling about this guy who goes to an island, but like everything on this
island
is messed up. Not Fantasy Island. I think it was called The Stranger or The Visitor or something like that.
And
it was like very weird.
Not The Fugitive.
Not The Fugitive.
I know what you're talking about. And it was all weird.
And very weird. And he couldn't get off the damn island.
The Simpsons did an homage to that.
Yes.
Which I cannot remember. Anyway.
It was like the something or other.
It was called like the
Stranger.
Doda. But what we're talking about today is the show Star Trek Voyager.
Indeed, we are. And, the special guest on this particular episode is Jason Alexander. Seinfeld had just come to a close, and this was the first thing he did after Seinfeld finished.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. And I have to say, I think that Jason, who I think is a very talented individual, I think that he thought that he was giving you like, a namaste, beatific,
Yes.
kind of
Right.
like a quiet grace. But honey, she just come off gay
And
and
condescending, and she was
condescending.
this.
She's very smug. She was very smug. I think she was supposed to be smug.
Yes.
So what's
yes.
the basic idea behind this episode is that there is a think tank of individuals going
Different
throughout
species.
the quadrant, different species,
Yes.
and they are super smart and super advanced, and they're linked together. And what they do is sell their services for problem solutions.
To fix problems. They cured the phage.
Which it's just like a throwaway line.
Which I thought was like, oh shit, they cured the phage.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of fierce. And so they come across Voyager, and they're willing to help Voyager with its current problem, which is the Voyager is being harassed by this race of beings called the Hazari that are sort of interstellar bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody has hired the Hazari, and I smell a double cross, by the way, to hunt down Voyager.
Oh, did you have Mexican last night?
Hi, honey.
Hi.
But he was so nice, though.
Hello.
Has to hunt down Voyager and take the ship and the crew. I do want to say that our favorite Ensign Ayala, does make a quick appearance, and he also plays a Hazari soldier as well.
Okay.
He makes a quick appearance. Where?
I didn't see him.
I read it online. He does show up at some point, and he plays a soldier.
I didn't see him at any point.
I didn't see him at any point either. But
I'm
maybe
always
he's
on
like
the
in the
lookout.
background, like in the lounge.
Yeah. So
Whatever.
the Voyager's being hunted by the Atari creatures.
By the Atari.
And well, here comes Jason Alexander talking about he got a solution. Okay. And Janeway's like, oh, I'm sure it comes with a price.
I've come to offer our help with your Hazari paradox.
Paradox. Something tells me your help comes with a price tag.
As everything comes with a price.
Yes. But let's talk about their think tank for a minute. Who is it composed of?
It's 5 aliens.
Thank you for elaborating.
One of them is a robot that sounds very out of this world.
Yes. And she had like a really pointy dildo, that one?
Yes. One of them
artificial
is a
intelligence.
artificial intelligence. Yes.
Okay.
One of them is a protoplasmic whale kind of thing.
What you call me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And one
Which I
was
thought
like,
was very interesting, that life form. And it also was vain, because when they asked its age, it didn't
He
like
got
it.
pissed off.
And it was, of course, and it was clearly like an ageless creature. And that's the creature. That creature was called Bevan, and it was the creature that started the thing.
The think tank.
but it's been around for millennia.
Right.
Yeah, a millennia.
It's touchy about its age. I can relate. And there's a
Chorus.
Right.
Jason Alexander
with a bad look.
Ooh.
Ooh. But honey, but feeling himself.
Feeding himself.
Right.
And then the other alien whose name I didn't get, that with the funky face. But
Yeah.
but interesting to note that these beings are in telepathic connection with each other using a piece of technology. They don't speak each other's languages, but they are able to communicate through this particular piece of technology.
Right.
Correct.
So we got the jellyfish in the tube.
Oh, yeah,
Jason
the
Alexander
jellyfish.
looking like a busted monk. The AI looking like a pointy dildo. The ancient whale sperm thing that doesn't want to talk about its age.
Right.
And then the standard alien that speaks really fast and sounds like
Right. And it's kind of like this fills in as the doorman servant.
Yes.
right, because they get a visit at first from some blue bitch with big blue contacts.
Right.
Yeah.
That he tries to turn out the think tank, and the think tank's like, oh no,
I don't
no.
think so.
I don't think so.
But it also goes a little ways to illustrate that this think tank, they're maybe not evil, but honey, they're
not benevolent.
They're not benevolent. You've got to pay their price.
It's show business.
Yeah,
Business.
honey, and
Business.
it's the Leontine price
It really, really is, as it
that
turns
you need
out.
to pay. I also want to say just real quick about Bevan, the whale creature. I love the description. They were like saying, well, this one does this and this one is good at this. And then they go, oh yeah, Bevan, he's good at exobiology and cultural studies. currently, but his interests wander.
Right.
And I just thought, like, wow, like it sounded so cool. Like, this creature must be so smart.
Well, because it's been around for millennia.
Yeah.
Like whales.
Like
Like whales, yeah.
Like whales could be really smart. Their brains are huge.
Do you know that whales started on land, by the way?
Yeah. They have
started on
toenails
land.
on their flippers.
Yeah, and then they went into the ocean. Well, they're mammals, of course. I saw a thing on whales just recently, and I was like, they looked really wacky when they were on land.
Yeah.
It's a wacky animal.
But I haven't been to Bear Week in P-Town in so long.
Trust.
Mm.
Honey.
Mm-hmm.
But so
It's the whales of August.
So Miss George Costanza, beams herself onto Janeway's ship.
But not really.
Well, as an isomorphic projection.
As an
Right.
isomorphic project. He's not a hologram, darling.
And he points it out. Mind you.
Mind you.
Mind you. But his isomorphic projection. So the captain is being chased by these Hazari after a trap was laid using an entire planet, by the way, to trap Voyager. But Voyager is able to escape, and they're all busting their minds. They're surrounded by these ships, and they're on the run.
And there's like a Rubik's Cube puzzle
that people are trying to figure out.
And Janeway's not having it because she can't solve it.
It's hexagon.
And
It's a hexagon.
And neither can Kim. But of course, Seven's like, honey, all you got to do is say, no, Seven, I want to figure it out.
I don't want
Right.
to know.
Right.
So the captain.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. I don't want to take your love from me.
I've wasted 2 hours on this thing, and I'm no closer to solving it.
The solution is quite simple.
No,
If you align...
I want to figure this out myself.
And then Jason shows up for the second verse, which is cute.
Yeah.
And he shows up in the mess. The captain is hopped up on coffee.
On coffee.
She's like she doesn't even know if she's seeing something real. He's like, he's there. I'm an isomorphic projection. He's able to taste her coffee, even though he's a projection. Yeah, and which I thought was cute. And he says to her, I have an offer. Here's a little taste.
Do you want to taste?
Do you want to taste?
Right. And so she's like, well, that's cute for you, but like, I need to meet you in person, brother, because I don't know who you are, beaming onto my ship, drinking my coffee.
Meet your crew.
I want to meet your motherfucking crew, bitch. Okay.
But clearly, the technology of Voyager is absolutely nothing compared to the think tank.
Right, exactly. Which I kept calling stink.
The stink tank. So that leads them to the citadel of the think tank, which is
kind of cloaked.
Which is
Yes.
cloaked. It's in a layer of subspace, but when it does show up, it's like made out of this like type of neutronium metal that's like the strongest.
My favorite
ever.
Pointer Sisters song. Yes.
Neutronium dance.
Yes.
Yes. Unfortunately, the fallout it killed all of them.
It killed all of them, darling.
Yeah. Is that Sister Sledge? No, it's Pointer Sisters.
Pointer
Sisters. Yeah. And so they beam onto the ship, and Miss Boo.
And they're 7 of 9, and the captain are introduced to all of the members of the think tank. And at one point, the AI robot asks a question, wanting to share the information of how to incorporate biological matter with computers.
And Seven's like, you're just an overgrown orangutan.
But then it comes out with, even on this side of the galaxy, sometimes you want a washer and a dryer.
Touch these circuits, darling. Touch all these circuits.
And then she just does a death drop right there.
So Seven communicates with this individual,
right?
The AI, the computer AI,
by connecting using her Borg drama,
her Borg implants, her drama.
Yes.
And then later, George Costanza says to Janeway, you know what? We're going to help you out with your little Atari problem and get these motherfuckers off your butt. But this is what we want in return. And Janeway starts reading the list.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you want a replicator? They're very popular this season. And she's being kind of like, oh, you want an Olmec figurine? Well, fuck Chakotay, you can have it.
I'm sure he would part from it.
I'm sure he would part with it.
Some recipe of Neelix's for soup.
Which don't nobody want.
Yeah.
By the way, so clearly they're playing, huh?
Quantum slipstream technology. I should warn you, we never got that to work reliably.
It is still intriguing, theoretically.
Neelix's recipe for Chaudray Cobb.
Yes.
An ancient Olmec figurine. I guess Commander Chakotay can be persuaded to part with it.
I am pleased to hear that.
And then she looks at item number 4 and she's like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh, no.
I didn't tell you I was going to exchange any crew members. And that's where it jumps into the story. Basically, the think tank wants, in exchange for their help, they want 7 of 9 to join them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she is advanced and she is unique and she is wasting her time on Voyager.
And they don't want her like as a slave or anything like that. They want her to join the
As
tank.
a fellow member of the think tank.
And he even says to her at one point, these little knots over here are holding you back. You got to come and join our house, honey.
When he asks her, are you challenged? She's like, no. Immediately,
No.
she's like, no.
Yeah. And she
I don't think so.
She's not. Yeah. And remember that I think in an earlier season, I forget who says it, but somebody says, 7 is the most advanced human being in the galaxy because she has all the collected information of the collective, but at the same time, she was advanced as well. She's fucking brilliant.
She's like really smart.
Yeah.
She's like really smart and shit. Like he says to her, it's not just your bionetic implants, whatever. It's your innate intelligence.
Yeah.
Even without all the Borg stuff, that's a smart woman.
It's a smart, capable woman.
Right.
A brilliant woman.
And she's like, no.
But she's tempted enough to at least go listen to the offer.
Right.
Which,
in a way, the offer makes sense.
Without problems that test the limits of your abilities, you cannot expand them.
The crew of Voyager has accepted me, integrated me into their collective.
And you know what? The captain altruistically says, you know what? I've made decisions for you. But this decision you have to make for yourself. And don't make it for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because the captain probably also realizes that she can't challenge 7 the way 7 really needs to be challenged. So she says, go entertain it and you make the decision that's right for you.
Right.
And
meanwhile, the Hazari are coming down on Voyager, but lovely.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Way down.
Way down, Booby. Why don't you elaborate on that point?
With the cute kitty.
She won't stop. Pee-wee, hold on.
She's just like licking your hand, and I think it's so cute.
Oh, little baby.
What happened?
Did she just break your headphones?
Hold up, I can't hear y'all because
Oh
the
my
cat just
God.
broke my
That
headphones.
cat just broke her headphones.
And those are new. Aren't those headphones just a couple of
She
weeks?
just said she can't hear us, darling.
Oh,
shit. I want that cat euthanized immediately.
can't she just listen to us through her computer?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
Because you're listening to us through the computer.
Right.
Through the computer.
Those are new, right? Aren't those like relatively new headphones?
Yeah.
Oh, she didn't know.
I have another set. I just realized.
Booby, do not beat her again.
Don't beat that cat.
Don't
darling.
beat that cat again, Boo.
I'm gonna beat that cat with a bat.
I'm gonna beat that cat with a bat.
No, Booby. I don't know if you guys know out there. Would never. He'd rather throw himself off a bridge than hurt an animal.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Me, honey, I'd grab that cat by the scruff and throw her out my 3rd-story window. She would survive.
Yeah.
It's not like she'd die.
Yeah, no, she lived, darling. She landed a snowdrift.
Like our dear friend Jose, his cat, he didn't throw the cat, thank goodness. His cat jumped out of his window once. I believe it was 8 floors.
The higher the floor, the more of a probability the cat will survive because it has a chance to turn and land on its feet.
And her cat survived.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It survived. She was never the same.
I've had men throw me out windows, and I have to say that it's true. If you're thrown off from a higher floor, you have more of a chance to brace yourself for the impact.
Well,
Right.
also, and not to intimate that we're irresponsible pet owners. Many, many years ago, my dear friend John, who had been staying with me for a short time, his dog ran up to my 5-story roof his dog, not his cat, and jumped off as we were chasing him, and we watched as his dog jumped off the roof.
Did it die?
No, my God, dude. Oh, it was a moment.
Cherry, right? Was it
It was
Cherry?
Cherry, yeah.
He
And
was
I
just
was
like, I'm so bored. I got to get out of here.
honey, I was like, honey, it's Cherry's Jubilee at this point.
Oh,
And then, but honey, Miss Cherry was fine. She was totally fine. It was incredible. It was incredible. The doctor, the vet, was like, this dog did not just jump out of 5-story. He just didn't. And we were like, yes, she did.
Totally off topic. Last night I had a dream. Listeners, viewers, I used to work at an animal hospital. Matinga worked at an animal hospital.
Yeah.
Booby, did you work at an animal hospital? Did you work for Dr. What's his face in South Beach? Yeah.
no, I didn't.
Anyway, last night I had a dream that I still worked at the animal hospital, but I was running late, and I kept trying to call them, and I couldn't get through. I don't know what that means.
What, the one uptown?
Yeah, where I haven't worked for like
Riverside.
20-something years.
Well, occasionally I still dream that I'm walking to my Catholic school, St. Bridget's.
Are you wearing like a parochial school like skirt thing?
And no, but like, have you ever had this? I think this happens to you. So I'm trying to get to school and I'm late. And every time I take another step, I'm like walking in slow motion and I'm trying to move and I'm leaning into the wind and I'm trying to walk. Does that ever happen to you? And I can
But have you ever been blowing kisses in the wind?
With my asshole.
Yeah. And have you ever been approached by a think tank?
No.
Never, ever.
No.
Where are we?
How about a stink tank?
A stink tank, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's called the House of Extravaganza, but anyway.
Oh,
Hello.
And I've had 2 fingers in the stink.
Oh,
Mama.
just 2? Just the 2?
Just
the 2?
Yeah, but they were your own. It doesn't count.
No.
So I don't know where we are time-wise, but at some point, Seven's like, fuck it, let me join the think tank because we've plotted out all these possible trajectories, and anywhere you slice it, Voyager is toast.
Right.
No,
I don't think so.
No. So what happens is, she checks out the offer. She realizes that, especially Koros, especially Jason Alexander, it's sort of an immoral proposition as well. And she says to him, no, you know what? I'm not challenged, but they're more than just my collective. They're my family. It's a no. And she goes back to the ship. She tells the captain, it's a no. The Hazari all attack. And, and the Koros actually helps them get out of it and says, listen, I'm going to give you
being Jason Alexander.
Being Jason Alexander.
Right.
And he says, and he helps them get out of it, he says, that's one for free. But listen, I'm gonna let you think about it a little bit harder because trust me, you're not getting out of this situation. But Voyager goes on its way. In a fight between Voyager and the Hazari, Voyager is able to capture a Hazari ship. And they capture 2 Hazari soldiers as well. And in this exchange, they are able to figure out that the think tank is actually the people
that put the bounty out on Voyager.
Put the bounty out on Voyager, masquerading themselves as Malon aliens.
As the House of Malon.
And so the Hazari are also trying to get to the think tank. And she says, let's pool our resources and take the think tank down. And they're trying to figure it out because, listen, they're dealing with people who figured out all the angles. So they're really trying to figure out what can we do that they haven't already prepared for. And so what they do is
they take a sock and they fill it with nickels. Okay.
Honey.
Rocks.
Yes.
Rocks.
Like a sock, sock you.
They rock sock it. And Rock'em Socker shows up real quick. It's just like dancing in the back.
Crossover
like,
episode. It's a crossover episode.
It's like she could spend a little bit more money on that Gilda, but whatever.
Hello.
And then so they use Seven as bait because what they say is, listen, we're gonna get you. You're going to feign that you're going to join their collective, but you already joined with this being, the mechanical being, the artificial
AI.
intelligence. So because you were able to join with them, that gave you access to their systems, but that'll give us access to their systems. So she's able to do that.
To
And
implant a carrier wave that will disrupt
Yes.
their telekinetic link.
And so now the think tank cannot communicate with each other. These brilliant people together, but they're, it's they're more together than they are apart. The sum is greater than the individual parts. So, Miss Kouros is gasping. She can't talk to the other one. They're trying to figure it out. And they're able to bring that ship out of subspace, get Miss Seven back. And honey, then the Hazari go in
to destroy the think tank.
The think tank, yeah.
And Voyager says, "We out."
Bye.
We out. But then Miss Kouros, Jason Alexander, shows up for one more read at the end. It's like, how dare she?
I'm gonna let y'all have it.
She's still reading because it is that weird metal that's like, they may not be able to destroy the think tank, but they're able to get away.
Right.
Yeah.
Jason Alexander, so smug throughout the entire
smug.
episode.
That's the word.
Smug
with
and
this fake ass smile.
Very quietly. Very quietly.
Yes.
Like sort of like the velvet fist. So just
They're very like,
the curtain lady.
They took me from my family when I was 7.
They took me from my family and we went shopping for drapes. It was gorgeous.
Oh my God.
I mean, can you believe it?
I've seen that online.
A cephalopod in a tank. I mean, can you believe it? Where did you get that octopus? It's amazing. And at these prices?
I think she was having a moment. She was having a moment. Yeah.
They have an ASMR about her.
Yeah. She's definitely, she's from like Rhode Island or some shit.
Yeah.
So in the end, Seven chooses to stay with Voyager because that is her familia. It's her collective. Even though, her skills are not being put to their full use.
But they were still able to outsmart the think tank.
Right. So how you like me now?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I thought at the end that the Hazari were going to destroy the think tank.
They're certainly trying.
Right.
They're certainly trying. But if Jason is still relatively calm enough to go and do that last little read, like, listen, the offer's still open. But so she's clearly
unbothered.
She's unbothered. Like, she's clearly not able to pursue. So Voyager wins, but they're not going to destroy that think tank.
I urge you to reconsider, Captain.
A good guest knows when he's outstayed his welcome.
We can still negotiate a peaceful solution. Do not destroy my faith in diplomacy.
Your diplomacy could use some polishing.
He's so condescending to her, to Janeway. It was gross. Although I think that they probably enjoyed doing the scene together.
You can tell that Jason is he's eating the scenery up. Like, in his mind, he was like, honey, I'm turning an Emmy-winning performance.
Right.
I am not George Costanza.
Right.
I am Kouros.
I am smart.
Yeah, and I am giving you something.
I am blessed.
Yeah, honey, he was giving me like owner of like Sound Factory Bar, on Delta Quadrant.
He was giving me like night manager at Arby's that like sleepwalks during the day in a robe. I just didn't like the look.
With bad hair.
With bad hair. I did like the look of the alien in the beginning with the blue eyes that tried to fake them out.
I did too.
Line.
His hair was kind of pulled back in a ponytail, kind of not.
Kind of snatched, and she had big blue contacts.
And also, his outfit was really cute.
It was cute.
Really cute, yeah.
So it's, I think it's sort of a filler episode of Voyager. It's another 7 episode, which is fine. I mean, this whole season is really just like all about 7. But again, it's sort of like stating that she's committed to Voyager. Because they've done right by her.
And she has really begun to regain her humanity, which she never truly fully regains, because if you watch Picard, she poses a question to Picard. She says, after your time in the collective, when you came back, do you feel like you regained your humanity? And Picard says, yes. A full-bodied yes. And she says, all of your humanity? And he says, no. But I'm trying every day.
But she's definitely on the way, though, because towards the beginning of the episode, George Costanza is talking to Janeway about 7, and she's like, you can address me directly.
I'm right here. I'm not a part of the collective no more.
I'm an individual darling.
Learn it.
A Borg? I've never seen one outside the collective.
I am an individual now. You may address your comments to me.
Learn it. And like the look on both her face and Janeway's face is priceless. Because Janeway's like, yep, that's my daughter. What up?
That's my gay daughter.
That's my gay daughter.
That's my gay daughter, honey.
What up? So yeah, she's definitely on the road to being more human, I think. But overall, I'm going to give this episode 2.5 cephalopods in a tank. I thought it was an interesting thought exercise, and I enjoyed watching Jason Alexander, even though it was a terrible performance.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because he's just enjoyable. So I'm going to give it 2.5.
Yeah, that 2.5. 2.5. Listen, not among the worst episodes of Voyager. Like some episodes of Voyager are hard to watch. I enjoyed this one, but it was very middle of the road. 2.5 Leola root.
I give it 2.5.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just
It was just
right.
there. It was just there.
Like the porridge that Goldilocks ate.
It's just right. Yeah.
And what is the final thing with the Rubik's Cube toy?
Miss Seven, she takes it and she figures it out and she puts it on the table and everyone's like, but Seven,
How'd you do that?
how did you do that? She's like, I scanned it and figured out it's just a little algorithm.
Rhythm.
They're like, you cheated. She's like,
Right.
yeah.
That's like people that when they were trying to do Rubik's Cube back in the day,
Taking
would
off
just
the sticky.
take off the stickers and then just put them back how they're supposed to be in the finished.
Do you know, I never read the book. I could have read the book, but I never figured out that Rubik's Cube, man. I think I tossed it out the window.
I could do 2 sides.
I could do 2 sides.
I maybe 3 sides, but I could not do the whole cube.
Do you know
I
that
never
in the
could figure it
80s,
out.
There was a porn called Rubik's Cube.
You're such a liar.
I am totally lying. Do you know there was
There was
also
an 80s cartoon called Rubik's Cube.
Yep.
Oh God,
It was fabulous. I loved it.
Foul.
It
I
was so
used to
cute.
love the Pac-Man and Mrs.
Yeah.
Pac-Man cartoon.
It was
God.
Rubik's Cube and Menudo.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, that's a throwback, honey.
And we're
Menudo.
talking 80s.
Menudo when Ricky Martin
Yeah.
was in it.
Yeah,
No,
we were
even
kids.
before.
Yeah. Ay, 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 doña Tecla, vaya con Dios. Ay, 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 doña Tecla, vaya, da, 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 da.
Claro.
And then there's also Subia Tiempo.
I love Jennifer
Unos
Lopez.
antibrojos.
Yes. Sí, pero
Honey, I used to love me some Menudo.
también.
Quick little
sí.
story that's totally not related to sci-fi.
Sí,
When I was about
pero-
11 years old, I went to go visit my grandmother in Puerto Rico. I used to go every summer for like 2 months, and don't think I wasn't pulling boys. Even like back then, I actually did.
Where were
But-
you getting the money?
Cute. But so I had cash. I remember one time we went to the mall and I bought the Menudo album. And so like there was my cousin Damari's best friend, which was this girl named Maria, who was like the sexiest girl in the neighborhood. And she was like a vamp. She was like 15, but she was a total vamp. And she was quite lovely. But I'm like a little faggot boy.
Was she wearing
wanted
like
that-
banana leaves and like a coconut bra?
a coconut bra
Yeah.
and like no panties.
I love
very, honey, just very like oh not
I
wow.
love it.
You know. And so anyway, we're sitting in a hammock, the two of us talking, and you know she's being sexy with me. She's like, oh, I want that album. Oh, I don't have the money to get that album, and I'm like, oh, you don't? How tired. She's like, oh, I don't know. You know, she's being all sexy, and she's like, you're cute, and I'm like, oh yes.
She was trying to seduce you.
She's
into
trying to
giving her
seduce me for the
album.
Menudo album, and she was like, oh, give it to me, and I was like, no.
So she was sexy, but not too bright.
Yeah, I was like, honey, you ain't getting my album. But I bet you, well, first of all, I don't think the straight 14-year-old boys are gonna go buy the Menudo album. But like, I bet you, like any 14-year-old boy out there would have been like, I'll give you whatever you want. But I was like, I ain't giving you my album. You crazy?
Sex appeal is a powerful thing. One must wield it wisely.
Yes.
It's true.
You ain't no Yoda.
Excuse you, what? Honey, at this point, I am Yoda. Speaking of Yoda,
You're more yogurt.
Miss Booby, you got baby Yoda sitting on top of old ass Yoda.
You do?
In
Yeah,
the background there. Listeners, you
Oh.
can't see it, but Booby is collecting Yodas,
I is.
which has nothing to do with Star Trek Voyager. I'm going to guess that we have made this episode so short that Siri hasn't set off the timer yet.
She's not going.
I guess there wasn't a lot to say about Think
Oh,
Tank.
but you know what? There's only 49 seconds left.
Well, then let's
Okay.
fill it up with some kind of magic. Take it while it's hot. I said magic, not tragic, darling.
Oh.
Booby, take it.
Hey.
Hey, Mr. DJ, get ready on the bass.
And shoot that semen all up on
On
my
my
face.
face.
Hey, all right, there we go. Now that's an ending. This is Fire Chakotay. I'm Mike Diamond.
And this is Miss Matenga.
This is Booby.
Bye.